Hello, everybody. Welcome to Volvo Truck North America's ATA press conference. My name is Jennifer Edwards. I'm the PR manager for Volvo Trucks North America, and we are very happy you could be here with us today. Today, we will hear from our president, Peter Voorhoeve. He will discuss a brief business overview, and then we will hear from our product director, Johan Agebrand, who will give us a product overview as well as some new product news. There will also be a Q&A at the end of this, so please hold your questions, and we'll be happy to answer them at the very end. Thank you so much, and welcome Peter Voorhoeve, President of Volvo Trucks North America.
Thank you very much. You are very friendly. Welcome everybody to this press conference, and I'm happy to be here actually now for the second time. Last year I was here as well, and I just came from another country. Had now 1 year upon my sleeve, and a very exciting market, exciting customers, exciting dealers, and I have some good things to tell you. You saw in the video in the world we want to live in, and there's a lot in that sentence, the world we want to live in. It also says something about how we see that world. But one of the things you saw in that movie was the driver. Now, we have always been very driver-oriented. I have always been very driver-oriented because rather quickly I found out when I came to the industry is that a truck without a driver doesn't get very far. And even though we will talk a lot about autonomous, drivers will remain to play a very essential role. Hence, our sponsorship for the American road team captains. And we will talk a little bit more about that tomorrow, but I'm very excited about the fact that we have the opportunity to sponsor that. I think it's super important that we talk about the importance of transport, the importance of trucking, but also the importance in safety and how we should behave on the road. We want to drive safety. We've been doing that since 1928, and ladies and gentlemen, our vision is 0 accidents with Volvo trucks. That's a bold vision. And that's most probably not easy to realize, but that is where we are going to. The road captains, the ambassadors, the safety champions help us with that. The driving change, right? So we go from drivers to driving change. You all know there's basically 3 big trends, right? It's connectivity, it's automation, and electromobility. I actually would like to spend a little bit time on connectivity because here is something that we just recently announced, ladies and gentlemen, and that is we have 1 million connected assets worldwide now as a Volvo Group. 1 million connected assets. And connectivity is a change that sometimes we talk a little bit less about than electromobility and automation, but it is a very important one. 1 million connected assets. That can be buses, it can be yellow machines, construction equipment, it's many trucks. It's 560,000 Volvo trucks. And of these 560,000 Volvo trucks, 200,000 of those Volvo trucks are connected here in the United States, in North America, I should say, in Canada, in Mexico, and in the US. We have 200,000 connected trucks. And the connectivity is very important. That is how we secure more uptime. That is how we coach fleets. That's how we coach drivers to say something in your truck, a component needs to be replaced, do this or do that, go to a dealer before you have an unplanned stop. Uptime is super crucial, but not only that, with the connectivity and with a better maintenance and with a more optimized and proactive maintenance, we also drive sustainability. I think we can clearly say that when it comes to connectivity, with all the assets that we have on the road, we are truly leading in this area. I'll show you a couple of more examples later on. Volvo is a Swedish originated brand, and we have been here in the United States since 1982. That's relatively short if you compare it with other brands. But the North American market is crucial for Volvo. It's our second home market. The US in itself is the largest market where we sell trucks. And even though we are then originated from Sweden, it doesn't make us a Swedish operator. If I tell you how much trucks we sell in Sweden, it's most probably less in the state of Florida or something like that, right? So we do 95% of our business outside of that country. And a lot of the business we do over here in North America. It's a second home market, and we take it very seriously. We have a very strong portfolio right now. We've invested a lot of money in the VNR. We've invested a lot of money in the VNL. Great customer acceptance, great products, and we're very proud of that. And I'll show you some other investments that we're doing that shows how important this market is for us. But before I go there, let's talk about the business environment. We had a very strong year in 18, we had a very strong year in 19. What we see is that the economy is mostly moving a little bit back. It's cooling down a little bit. There's many things happening in the world that make us maybe a little bit less insecure. At the same time, in the US and in Canada as well, we see a strong labor market. We see strong consumer spending, which for me is most of the times the most important thing, because if the consumer spend, then one way or the other, we need a truck to bring those products that they bought to their houses. So from that point of view, I think we still have a great outlook, but I think the whole economy is cooling down a little bit. The tariffs, trade uncertainty, it all plays a little bit of a role in the confidence. 2019, fantastic strong year. We will see 325,000 trucks in the market. We have never built as many as we have done before. But at the same time, I have to say, if you look at the market shares, Canada, let's start with Canada. We're building market share in Canada, which is very good to see. We're building market share in Mexico. Mexico is a market where we traditionally, maybe if you can see 2.3, 2.0, 1.9, that's not, the kind of figures you want to take home. But, if you go from 1.9 to 3.2, then all of a sudden something is moving in a market. And I can tell you exactly what is happening in that market is that Mexico is a strong market, 25,000 units per year. Volvo Trucks does not withdraw from markets. We succeed in markets, and that's exactly what we're doing in Mexico. In the US, we're running behind 1 percentage point for the moment. We're at 9.7, coming from 10.7 last year around this time. That's a bit of a pity, but I don't panic too much about that. We came a bit slow to the market, if I may call it like that, in the beginning of the year. We're catching up right now. The retails look pretty good, and that will further grow as well. And all based upon those two beautiful machines you see next to me and the way we treat our customers. Taking it to the next level, I am confident that with the products that we have, with the dealer network that we have, with the sales organization, with the assets, with the people that we have, we can take this to the next level. The guiding principle in taking it to the next level is customer satisfaction. That has always been the way I've been working, is that get satisfied customers, so they automatically come back, and then things like market share and sales, that will kind of follow automatically. So that's what the whole organization is focusing on. We have substantial investments. I'll come back to that in a moment. We have the new products, and then we have the electric offering, which I will come back to in a minute as well. Now, normally when you think about investments, you think about investments in the factory. We've done that. But before I get there, we have done substantial investments in our dealer network. Again, with being a new brand in this market, then you need to make sure that you have a strong support network with distributors and service points. And I think we can clearly say that today, after many, many years of investing, we have a dealer network that is up to par and competitive in order to create and guarantee uptime for our customers. Let's a little bit look at this little animation. So here you see, and the ticker will go, the dealer network growth, basically since the beginning. So you see there the clicker, right? You go from 90 to 140 to 100. You see the years, and you see how dense the network goes. And this is not something that some people came up with. This is true. This is fact-based. And you see that we go over 435 locations now, all Volvo locations, right? There is 64% increase in service base and 300% increase in technicians. Ladies and gentlemen, we are now at the level where I can look everybody straight in the eyes. So we have the backup network for you to be there with parts, with technicians, and to create your uptime. $700 million has been invested in the last 10 years. Not since 1981, but in the last 10 years. $700 million almost by our partners and by ourselves. Mainly by our partners, which is, by the way, I'm very happy with, because it shows them the confidence that our partners have in the future of Volvo Trucks in North America. To give you two examples, we recently won our dealer in Wisconsin, Crete, opened up a $6 million facility over there. We now have in Los Angeles, and even though not everything is a competition, but sometimes things are fun when they're the largest. We have the largest dealer now in the world not far away from here in Los Angeles, in Fontana, with a 100-bay workshop. I don't know to what extent you're familiar with, normally workshops are like 30 or 40 bays. That's how you run a workshop. So by the time you put in a 100-bay workshop, you must have some very, very good plans and some good density of what's happening in the world. So we have that. I'm very proud to share it with you. It's Tech Fontana, by the way, who did that for us. We have been investing in our truck uptime center. And now I come back to connectivity again. I think connectivity is a very important development that, by the way, is happening right now. We have multiple developments in the area of connectivity. First of all, this uptime center is an uptime center where there is hundreds of people sitting together following these 200,000 trucks. We basically see per truck what's going on. We see the wear and tear on components. We see how far they can go. They see when they need to come in, and we basically can, upon request, communicate then, well, where do you want to go? There is a dealer, do this, do that, the other. We can also adapt maintenance schedules if you want, but also, and that is more reactive then, or that's reactive and proactive, but we also do over-the-air programming, parameter programming. So, for instance, you know the I-shift, we introduced that, right? So we kind of changed the market, you know. So Swedish people are modest. I'm not Swedish, I'm Dutch, and I'm not modest. So we introduced and we shaped the market when it comes to transmission out so that we know a little bit. So we changed the market a little bit there. Now what we do, if you have a gearbox, if you have a drive van application, versus, for instance, but then you want to use the truck for something else, for bulk, whatever, you know, you have that liquid going up and down, you want another shifting pattern. You don't have to go back to the dealer for that. You just call us. You call the uptime center, and we will program a different shifting pattern for you. That is uptime. That is connectivity. That is driving also value for our customers. And in all fairness, the little boy, I think, is pretty cool that we can do that right now. The truck is not a mechanical box anymore. The truck is a high-tech environment where young drivers as well find fun to drive in a very, very safe way. And then, as I said, we've been investing in our products, we've been investing in our dealership, and we are investing in a factory. I am, and by the way, not only me, but the whole Volvo Trucks organization, we are very confident that the North American market creates an enormous amount of opportunities for us. That's why we announced in June to invest $400 million in our factory in New River Valley. Partly to upgrade our main assembly, partly to expand because we're going to introduce electric trucks and they need to be built in somewhere. Partly because we see that the market will further, our business will further expand. And mainly because we are very confident about what the future will bring for us. This, by the way, will create about 700 to 770 jobs over the next coming 6 years. Of course, not in 1 year, it's a gradual thing, but I don't know. I think that's not a small thing, so to speak. These trucks are proudly assembled, proudly built, and I know my legal department will say I cannot say that, but quite frankly, I mean, you know, if you build the engine in the US, in Hagerstown, because all our engines are built here, if you then drive that engine with an American transporter to your assembly factory in New River Valley, where we have 3,500 people working to put all these trucks together, in my world, I say you're made in the USA. But we cannot say that, so we are proudly assembled in the USA, ladies and gentlemen. However, and that is the other thing I would like to mention with you, not only our trucks are proudly assembled in the USA, all our trucks are proudly assembled in the USA. The salesman in me would like to emphasize that when you buy a Volvo, there's a lot of American families being very, very happy with you. And I think that is important. So proudly, everything assembled in the USA. Then, let's look in the future. And the funny thing is, ladies and gentlemen, the future is not the future anymore. The future is today, the future is here. We have launched when we have showed to you, the electric VNR, the eVNR. We showed it in our technology summit in New River Valley 2 weeks ago. We will then, and then you can drive it as well, in Fontana Tech on February 10 and 11. What is this? The eVNR is a product that will go on sale by the end of 2020, and in the time between that and now, we run the LIGHTS project. It's the low impact green heavy transport solution. This is where, together with the California Air Resources Board, we show end-to-end what a green and low-impact transport solution looks like. So not only do we show an electric truck that can drive from A to B, we show how it works in the greater picture. So we have our dealer involved, we have our technicians involved, we have electric yard trucks, we have the grid involved, we have renewable energy involved. And then ultimately, if all those links work together, then you have a true low-impact green and heavy transport solution. What I would like to give you as a background, this is a $90 million project. $45 million is being invested by CARB. $45 million came from us. This is the largest, against not a competition, largest federal funded project on terms of electromobility. I'm very proud of that. And again, the little boy means that it's a lot of fun as well. This is the future that is happening today. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to thank you very much for your attention.